Hello everyone. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let's start. If you guys have any doubt, please let me know. No doubts, right? Okay, so please confirm if my screen is visible. Okay. So as I said that we have completed with the syllabus, but few topics are left that we only need to discuss about those topics. Okay, those are the small topics, and we need to discuss the definitions. So we will see that at the at the end of our sessions. So mostly we will discuss that on Friday. Okay. So let's see. Today we are going to see the project. As I told that we will do the project using the VPC and CloudFront, like many services are there. We will include that and we will do one project using that. Okay. And here we will see at least two projects. Okay. The small projects we already have done, that Lambda one, and then which one we already have done? I think the SNS or CloudFront one, something was there, right? Okay. So now here the basic project is that S3 static website deployment, and this is the small topic, and this is a part of your S3 only. So we will discuss that later, and first we will discuss about these, the second project, that is creation of scalable infrastructures to deploy three-tier application. Okay, so 1 minute, just give me a minute. I have few things, so let me download that first. And I have uploaded the notes there. I'm not audible. Hello.
No, you are audible. Fine.
And Priya, could you please check? I think 1 minute. Okay, she is not in meeting itself.
Yeah, the process is up to date.
Okay. Okay, in notes it is different. Okay, sorry. Fine, now it is fine. Fine, so just give me a minute. Let me download this. Okay, so whatever project we are going to do, you can give any name to that project. First name which I have provided here, that is this one, right? I have given the first name, that is creation of scalable infrastructures to deploy three-tier application. So if you are showing your experience as a fresher, right? So if you are not showing any experience, so in that case you can give this name, as well as you also can give these name. Okay. And if you want to show some experience in AWS, because many peoples are here that those are the experienced candidate, right? So in such case you can select any of these project name, like web app deployment architecture design, private server cluster, and load balancing implementation. Okay, so any one of the name you can select. Okay, so if we are going to do one project, you can give any name, you can select any name from here. Okay, and the steps and all of those things we will discuss now. And these are the roles and responsibilities which you can mention after doing this project. Fine. So let's see first what are the things we are going to do. Okay, so let me explain you few things. So it's simply this project name is this is creation of scalable and secure infrastructures for deployment of my 3-tier application. So what are the services we are going to use in AWS? We are going to use VPC, ALB, application load balancer we will use, ASG, auto scaling group we will use, and CloudFront we will use. So these are the services which we are going to use. If you want to use any other services, that also you can use like S3 and all to store the data. So you can include multiple services here. Basically, I'm going to create an infra with my basic needs. Okay, I need for the scalable infra, we need auto scaling group. Okay, and for the load balancing, if you have auto scaling group, you must have you should have the load balancer as well. So that's why we are also using the load balancer, as well as for the CDN we are using here the CloudFront. And if you have the domain, in that case you also can use Route 53. Fine. So majorly we are going to use these four: VPC, ALB, auto scaling group, CloudFront. And if we are saying the VPC, under this only EC2 also come. So EC2, like we will see by default. Okay. And one more service we will discuss here, that is HTTPD. That this is not the AWS service. So do you know about HTTPD? I think you already have used in your DevOps session this one. Anyone have idea what is HTTPD? One more thing is here, that is Apache 2. We also call it as a Apache 2, and Nginx is similar to this. Do you know what is this?
Are these web servers?
Yes, it's a application server. Like it's a server which is going to host your application. Fine. So basically what we need now, we are going to create an infrastructures to deploy our application, right? So to deploy application, we are going to create our server, but like going to create the infra, right? But the thing is that we don't have any application, right? So how we will test our infra? So basically what we need uh, our application, one application at least we need to deploy that to that particular infrastructures. So basically here we are going to use one application we will create. And how we'll create it? For application hosting, for application server, we will use HTTPD. So what we'll do, we in within our EC2 instance, what we'll do, we will install this HTTPD and we will write some code here. Just like in I already have provided you one user data, this one, right? So I have provided you one user data. Just doing fine. So this is your user data, and basically what it is doing, it's installing HTTPD, it's starting HTTPD, enabling the HTTPD, and after that it's writing hello world and this from hostname and hyphen f inside this index.html. So basically I already have explained this code while we learned our load balancer, right? So this is the user data which we will use to deploy our application, to create our application. Okay, so basically we will use HTTPD to deploy my application, and inside HTTPD server what we will do, we will write index.html. So now my application is ready. Okay, application code is ready. Okay, so instead of this, if you have any applications, what you will have, you will have one application, your application executable file, like your var files are file like that, right? So you will have one artifact that you will deploy. So basically I'm going to show you using this, and I think you guys already have deployed your var application like .var file in Tomcat, right? Have you
Yes.
used Kubernetes as well to deploy your like application?
Yeah,
Okay,
we are using that two servers like in the Kubernetes. Yeah.
Okay. So basically what you used, if you want to deploy any of the web application, what you used the Tomcat, right? So Tomcat you have installed, you have configured, and then you have deployed your application there. Just like that, if you want to deploy any Python code, in that case, what you will do, in one server you will install Python, and then only you will put your application there. You will put your executable file there, and then your application, you will be able to access your application, right? Deployment means that only. So to deploy this particular like applications, you will not deploy directly. So when you have done the hands-on in DevOps session, right? So at that time, what you have done, you directly have created one Tomcat server. If I'm not wrong, directly you have created one Tomcat server. You have created some Jenkins server to deploy it, and within this Tomcat server, you have simply installed Tomcat and configured Tomcat, and then deploy your WAR file. Same only, right? You just did the same.
Yes,
Fine.
you
Okay. So now, when you have created this, when you have created your Tomcat server, have you seen which VPC you have used, and whether it is a public server, whether it is a private server? No, right?
yes,
Okay. So basically, this deployment, it's the part of DevOps only. Like you will do the deployment, however you did there. Okay, like you will install Tomcat, you will configure Tomcat, but here our infra will be different. Okay, like if you want a Tomcat server where you want to deploy your application, we need a secure server first thing, right? So if we need a secure server, so this should be private. This server should be private. We don't want its private IP addresses and all, right? So those things, these are our requirements. Like basically we want to create a proper secure and scalable infrastructure, so that whenever we'll deploy our application, we'll not face that much issues, right? So scalable means if the load will get increased, automatically the number of server will get increased. So uh, like my applications will not have that much downtime, like that will not have the downtime. Because of that reason, we'll create a scalable infra. Okay, and secure, you know that, right? Always we need the secure infra to deploy our application. So like this, you already have done the deployment, but you not have created infra. So as a DevOps engineer or as a cloud engineer, you will handle this operation part, right? You will handle the operation part. So you are not going to you are not going to build the code, you are not going to only only deploy the code. So if before deploying the code, you also have to create the entire infra where you want to deploy the code. Okay, like if you are installing Tomcat server and if you are deploying your code there, you must have should have one uh, infra, and that infra should be scalable, that should be secure. Okay, so you must have to create first the infra. So in Jenkins, when you will use Jenkins, right, to deploy, have you guys used Jenkins only for CI/CD?
yes,
Yes.
Okay, so using Jenkins, what you have done, you have if you will do, like if you have done a small project in DevOps, there will be some one server for Tomcat and one server for Jenkins. Using Jenkins, what you have done, you have installed Jenkins, configured Jenkins, and here you have used some plugins. And after using that plugins, you taken the code from GitHub, right? And then you have built it using the Maven, right? You have built it using the Maven. After building it, you will get a WAR file, and you will deploy that WAR file to this Tomcat server, right? So in this case, what you have done, you have created Jenkins server separately, you have created Tomcat server separately, and then you have configured it, right? So basically for the configuration also, you already have learned this Ansible and all those things you can do, right? But when you want to create this Jenkins server and Tomcat server, you should have one infra. You already have seen the Terraform as well, right? So what the Terraform will do, you will write a code here that will create these two server. Like if you don't want to do it manually, if you don't want to create your Jenkins server and your Tomcat server manually, in such case what you will do, you will use the Terraform code, and in this Terraform code what you will do, I just want to create two EC2 instance. I want to create two EC2 instance, and it will, this when you will execute this code, it will create two instance. But these two instance that comes under one VPC. Okay, we should have like what's the properties of this these two EC2 instance, those the things which under which VPC this is these EC2 instance comes. Okay, whether this VPC, like whether this subnet is public or private, those things everything will matter. How, and after deploying your code within this like in this EC2 instance, how you are going to access this like how you are going to access this application, like those things matters a lot. So how will do that, like how will provide how you are going to access the application after deployment. So deployment, you are only doing the deployment using this Tomcat server by creating these, but main things are here, that is infrastructures. Okay, so now we will create infrastructures, and majorly in this infrastructures the major thing is that is VPC. As I said that it's a private cloud, it's a network, right? So we will create a big network. So we will do it for one by one. We will do it step by step. As already told you that whenever we want to deploy our application, we'll never deploy it on public servers. Okay. So in your DevOps session, you already have deployed it in public server because that time you didn't know about the AWS, right? You didn't know about the VPC. But in real time, we'll never deploy our applications in public server. We'll always deploy it in private server, and we'll get some way so that we can access our applications from outside, from the internet. If anyone want to access the application, they will only able to access your application, not the code. Okay, not the files. So they no one can get get your code file. Because of that reason, you always have to deploy your code, you always have to deploy your application file in private server. So let's discuss what's the process we will follow. First thing is that the first step is that we will create a VPC. In that VPC we will create two public subnet and two private subnets. See, all these hands-on we already have done. Okay, so I don't think anyone will have the confusions, but if you will have any questions and all, please let me know at that point, at that time only. Okay, so here what we are doing, we'll create a VPC. Okay, VPC is only our entire infra which we are going to configure, whatever we will do, that we will do inside the VPC only. Fine. So we will create a VPC and we will create two subnets here, two public subnet, sorry, four subnets we will create, two public and two private. Why we are creating here the two subnets, two public and two private subnets? Because we need two private subnets to create auto scaling group. Okay, so while creation of auto scaling group, at least you have to mention two availability zone. Okay, so this is the required things. So auto scaling group need two availability zone, at least two AZ it need. Whenever you want to create your auto scaling group, at least you have to mention two availability zone. So if you will create two subnets, so here we will select, just assume that one subnet we will select in AP South 1, and another subnet we will select in AP South, sorry, AP South 1A, and another one we will select in AP South 1B. It's like that. So because of this reason, what we need here the two subnets. See, as I told that we are going to deploy our applications inside like private server, right? So here for this auto scaling group, we cannot select our public subnet. We will only select the private subnets. That's why we will have here the two public subnet and two private subnets. Okay, I will let you know few things. So one public subnet also it's fine, but let's create like this only. Fine. Then we need the route table, and then we need the internet gateway to make public subnets, right? Next, what we will do, we will launch one instance in public subnet and deploy our application there. This is the next step. Okay, so now what we have done, we will create one server, and there we will deploy our application. So now you will say, now it's a public server, then why we are deploying our application, right? As you know that in private server we will not have the internet connection, so installing httpd and like starting sorry, configuring your httpd and all, that is not possible, right? So in case of Tomcat deployment, what you will do, you will launch one EC2 instance in public server, and there you will install Tomcat, and you will install Tomcat, and then you will configure the Tomcat and then you will deploy your application. After deployment of application, what you will do, you will create an AMI from that server. Okay, so you will create AMI of that public instance, right? So after creation of AMI, if you want, you can remove it, but we required it to get connect with my private server, so we will keep it now. Okay, so third step is we will launch one template, like we will create a launch template using this AMI. This AMI contain my application as well as the HTTPD there, right? So we will create a launch template, and using that launch template, we will create the auto scaling group in private subnet, so that it will deploy my applications in private subnet servers. Fine. Then we can log into my private server and start this service. Now, after this, our application get deployed in private servers. So to access it, we will use load balancer, that will be in public subnet, and for the CDN, we will use CloudFront. So basically, this is the process of this project. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the hands-on for this. So till now, if you have any questions, if you have any confusions about any topic, whatever we are using here, right? Auto scaling, EC2, VPC, ALB, if it's not clear, please let me know.
Hi, Deepika. So the second point you told like we are deploying in the public separate, right?
Hmm.
So I have doubt like we need to deploy in the private subnet, right?
Yes, we will deploy it in private server, but as I said that private server will not have the internet connections, right? So basically, what we'll do, it's a kind of proxy server. In public server, what we are doing now, we are creating a server, and then we are deploying our application there, and after that we are creating the AMI from that, and then we can delete that public server. Okay, that's a one way deployment, like for only for the AMI we have done that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine then. Anyone else have any question?
Just so that we could have the internet, we are creating it, right?
Sorry.
AMI.
Hmm.
Just so that we could have internet. That is why we are going for the public subnet, right?
Yes, see, using the private server, you will be not able to configure everything. Okay, so in such cases, your application team only will create AMI in their side. Okay, so that AMI only will use, mostly will use in production. So basically, these steps you will not do majorly in your real time. Okay, so basically nowadays you guys are using images, right? Docker images and all to deploy your application. So in that case, you don't need AMI, because directly you can use Amazon Linux and you can use Docker containers and all, right? So that's the different thing. Basically here for deployment, we are creating this AMI. Okay, so only for the AMI we are deploying our application in public subnet. I will explain the procedure, then I think it will be more clear. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's start with the hands-on then. This is my code user data. We will discuss that. So let me open my AWS account. So 1 minute. Okay. So first thing is that we need to create a VPC. So let's create the VPC now. Okay. So let's create a VPC. I'm going to create a VPC, giving the name of VPC as my VPC only, and giving the same CIDR range /16 and create VPC. Done. Next, what we will do, we will create two subnets, two public subnet, two private subnet. So let's create it. Select the VPC, give the name public subnet 1. And for this, I have selected 1A. Given the CIDR range and clicked on create subnet. Done. One subnet has been created. Next, we will create the another subnet, my VPC public subnet 2. Preferred availability zone is 1B. Give the CIDR range. Done. Next, we will create two private subnets as well. My VPC availability zone 1A. Don't forget to mention here the AZ, okay? So you have to mention here availability zone. Otherwise, while creation of auto scaling group, you will face issues, okay? It's created. Next, let's see. Okay, sorry. Done. Now, if you will see, I have created four subnets here, two public subnet, two private subnet.
One
Next, we
thing,
need to create, yes,
just sorry. This idea range we are taking on the basis of what? Just /24 and that
yes.
one. Yeah.
The
I
CIDR
prefer.
range
Hmm,
we are getting as this 10.0.0 /16 we have given, right? So
right.
when you will do subnetting, right? So when you will do the subnetting and for this /24, at that time, if you will give here the 24, you can change this second octet, okay? So you can change it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can change this octet. The first octet you can't change it, okay? So this is the subnetting things. You can calculate it, okay?
So this 24 we are calculating at 2 to the power n formula.
2 to the power n, that is from CIDR. If you want to create, like if you want to calculate the IP address number, how many IP address you are getting it. Okay, this is the concept of subnetting. As I already told you, right? So subnetting
Yes.
calculations you should know for this something. So basically, instead of 24, if you will use 22, at that time also this will change. Like you can change this octet as well, something like that. Okay. So
Okay.
basically, this is the common one, and majorly people use this CIDR range for their VPC and all. So I'm using the same. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Done.
And just know that if you will give forward 24 /24, then you can change this second, like from here, like from the starting, it's third octet. You can change it. So
Yes.
when it will reach 255, then you can change this 1 2 till 255. Then you can change this one. It's like that.
So
Clear?
whenever we need to create, we can go by default /24, right?
Yes, if you
We can
have
take.
your VPC CIDR range is 16, right?
Yes.
Then take 24. It's a compatible one. Okay, so it will be easy for you to calculate the subnets.
Okay.
Fine?
Yes.
Fine. So it's done. I have created this. Next, we need the route table. How many route tables we need to create? Anyone have any idea? Anyone can say me how many route table we required here? Anyway, we required the two route table only, right? One will be the public route table, one will be the private route table, right? So here
Yes.
we need two route table. One is public route table within my VPC. Let's create it. And here we will do the subnet association. Let's add the subnet. So as it's a public route table, add both of your public subnets here. Done. Next, we will create one more route table that will be the private route table. And select your VPC here. Done. Subnet association. Added the subnet association. And add here your private servers. Okay. So here you have private subnets in private route table, public subnets in public route table. Fine. Now, the next thing is that you required an internet gateway for your public subnets, right? So click on create public sub as create internet gateway, create your own internet gateway one. And after creating this, attach it with VPC. After attaching it, you know that we need to configure our route table, right? So which route table we will configure? Public route table. So let's click on route, click on edit, give it from anywhere and select here the internet gateway. Done. Save the changes. Now, my public subnet, two public subnets has been created, two private subnets has been created, and to both of the public subnets, I have given internet connections. Okay. And one more thing we need to modify here, that is the auto assign public IP address that I already have told you actions, and then you have to edit this subnet setting. Here you need to give enable auto assign public IP address, so that it can, this particular subnet will automatically assign the public IP address to your server. You don't need to do anything else. So let's enable it. Okay. So this is done here. Next thing what we need to create one server in public subnet, right? So in public subnet, we will create one EC2 instance, and there we will deploy our application. So let's do it. You can deploy it not in a public subnets, and you also can deploy it in default VPC, if in different VPC, and then you can create AMI. That is also fine. Okay. So let's do here. I'm giving here the name as public server itself, and I'm taking this Amazon Linux only. T2 micro is enough. Let's take this key pair key one, and I'm going to add it here something. I'm going to add here the security group HTTP, so that I can check my application is running properly or not. Okay, so only for checking I am giving it. It's not required things from anywhere. So that after deployment of application, I will try to access it. So in real time, we'll never give these. Even we'll never give this anywhere. Okay, so next thing is okay, sorry. Advanced details, we need to add here the user data. So let's give here the user data. Fine. So it's done. Let's launch the instance. Okay. So now if you will launch your instance, and now let's check if my application is running or not. Let's first connect. I will show something here as well. So if you want to check your application directly, you can give your IP address and you can check your application. Just like which we have done in load balancer session, right? It will take some time, because for running the application, it will take some time. Okay, it's refreshing again. Huh. My application has been deployed in this server and it's taking more time to connect. Wait for some time. I think it will. Okay, now it's done. So how you can check your HTTPD is there? See, directly I just checked the application. That is fine. Now application is running means it already have installed the HTTPD. But one more thing is that you can check this system CTL status HTTPD. Sorry. Okay, so it's active and running. Now I have deployed my application here. You can create a server there. You can configure whatever you need, whatever you required for your application, deploy your application. Then what we will do, we will create an AMI. So let's go to the action, go to the and image and template, right? And then what we will do, we will create an image here. I'm giving my image name as my project image. Okay, and after that, if you want any description, just give the description and then create the image. It's done. So now it will take some time to create this image. After when this image will get created, after that what we will do, we will create the launch template. So let's see how we'll create the launch template. I already have told you how to create it, right? I think I forgot to delete it. Fine. So okay, so my project template. Here you need to select your OS image. So in this you have to select here the my AMI one. Okay, so this is my AMI which I have created. So here I think I have given the wrong name for my AMI. So here this is your AMI which like this is my AMI which I have created now. So let's select this for your launch template instance type. Let's select it T2 micro only. And after this key pair you have to select always this key one. Okay, so it's done. Now you don't need to do anything. Subnets and all, you don't need to select anything from here. Let's go and click on create launch template. So now template is created, right? Now the next thing what we will do, we will create the auto scaling group. Is it very fast? Are you getting what are the steps I'm following?
It's clear.
Okay, fine. So we have created AMI from this that public server, and now we have created a launch template, and now we are going to create the auto scaling group. Okay, so let's create a auto scaling group, and I'm giving its name is my ASG only. Okay, and after that you need to select your template which you have created. So my project template I have selected and then click on next. After this, here you have to select the VPC, in which VPC you want to create this auto scaling group. So I want to create it in my VPC. So I have selected it my VPC, and here you have to select your subnets. So here at least you have to select your two subnets. Okay, so that's why, and two subnets in two availability zone. So I want to create my all servers in private subnets, right? So I have selected here the two private subnets. If you will have only one subnet, it will not allow you to create your auto scaling group. Okay, so select here. That's why we have created two private subnets, one in 1A and one in 1B. Fine. After this, what you will do, you will simply click on next. Without the load balancer, you can go from here. Okay, and if you want to create a load balancer, you can create it and you can attach it from here. Okay, so what we need auto scaling group, and we also need load balancer for my to access my application as it is present in your private servers, right? So you need a load balancer that will be available in your public subnets. Okay, so if what we will do, we will attach to a new load balancer. You can select it. Okay, so do one thing. Let's create first. Okay, let's create first the auto scaling group, then we will see the load balancer as well. So let's select it. VPC lattice and all, everything is by default. Click on next. We have proceeded with this no load balancer. Okay, so click on next. Here we will simply give the desired capacity. I'm giving the desired capacity as 2, and minimum capacity and maximum is I'm giving it as 3. So it's fine. No scaling policy. Next. And then I don't want any notification. If you want to add your SNS topic, you can directly add it here, and you can provide here any SNS topic which you have already. But as of now, I don't have any, so I'm skipping it. So click on next. If you want to provide any tag, just give the tag like app equal to demo like this. Okay, and next, click on next. Just review it. We have selected this VPC, we have selected these two subnets, and these subnets CIDR range is this. Okay, so have I selected this public subnet? Is this the public subnet which I have selected? 1 minute. Okay, 2 is fine, sorry. I think 3 I have missed and directly I have given 4. Load balancer is not there. Desired capacity is 2. It should create 2 instances. So let's click on create auto scaling group. Okay. So once it will be done, you have to connect with your private server, and then you have to start your HTTP service. As you know that whenever you will stop and restart your server, your all the service will get stopped. You need to restart your service, just like the Jenkins, right? So in case of Jenkins, whenever you stop your instance and restart your instance, you always connect with the Jenkins server and you run the command systemctl start Jenkins. It's like that, right? So basically, just like that here also we will get two servers, and to both of the servers we need to connect and restart our HTTPD service. Okay. So basically these things also will automate using Ansible and all. But let's do it now manually. Sorry. We cannot connect it directly, right? So for this, what we need to connect with my public server, and from this only we will get connect with my private server. So that's why I not have removed my public server. So this will work like a proxy. So however, like I already have shown you how to connect with your private server. So let's do it. So for this, what we need the key. So this is the key one which we required. Key1.pem, right? So let's give it. And change its permission. We already have done all of these things, right? So we change the permission. Now the owner have read and write permission. Other than that, no one have any permission for this file. Fine. After this, if you want to connect with any server, let's go one by one. So let me rename it first. Private server 1, and but it has created by your auto scaling group. Okay. So let's do it. Basically, in real time, we will not do these things manually. Okay, directly will create our pipeline, right? So that pipeline only will configure everything. Like using Terraform, you will create these infrastructures, and using your Ansible, you will configure your servers, and then you will deploy it directly, deploy your application there directly. What's happened to this? It got stuck. I think it's taking some time. Fine. So till that time, let's see. We can create the load balancer. It's not giving any issues as well. Okay. So let's create the load balancer till that time. You know that how to create the application load balancer, right? So let's see.
400 permission or 600 form.
Sorry, Hemant.
Do we need to do 400 permission for the campus?
Your voice is not clear. Could you please
Yeah,
repeat?
yeah. Do we need to do 400 permission for the campus or 600 is fine?
Uh, which permission you said?
Yeah, you give me 600 permission, right? Data right?
Yes, yes, 600 permission we have given, right?
Yeah, we need to do 400.
No, we don't require it. Like we always give 600 only read and write permission.
Okay.
Sorry, key1.pem. The key pair name is same, right? Yes. And the content within this, that is also same. This is not the problem. It's taking more time to get connect, right? So okay, one more thing is that have we created this in default VPC? See, this is the problem. This server is from default VPC.
Yeah, while creating, I thought of saying that in network option,
Yes,
you did not select the VPC.
yes. So that was the problem. Let's terminate it because we don't require it. Okay. So AMI already we have created, and now let's launch it on my VPC. That was the major problem. Mm. Sorry, actually, I just forgot. In any of the subnet, you can create it. Auto send public IP addresses, like it's enable. So we are not deploying our application here. Okay, only we are launching this instance for the proxy purpose, like as a proxy instance for my VPC. So let's connect with this. It's taking more time now. Okay, now it's running. Let's connect and we can have this key pair. As that servers are present in private subnet, right? So, and we were accessing it from the default VPC. It means that from outside. So that's why it was not able to connect with your server. So that was the issue. So let's me create one key one dot pem again here. Change the permission. If you will not change permission, it will not allow you to use this key. Okay, so change the permission, and after that let's connect with the servers. Now we have selected the VPC, right? Yes. What's the issue? Okay, its security group doesn't have the SSH, I think. Let's check it. It's using the default one, right? So it's enable all traffic. All traffic from this source. SSH is only not there. Because in template we need to select that. So sorry, it was my mistake. I will explain you these things. That's why it was not allowing you to access. Now it's giving you, right? So basically when we were launching the template, right? So at that time we also need to search for, check, configure our that security group, but I just forgot to configure it here. Here we need to configure the security group. We need to select it. Otherwise it will take the default security group only. And in that default security group, it was not allowed the SSH connection. And you know that without SSH, we cannot connect with the Linux machine. So that was the issue, okay, which we were facing. So sorry, it was my bad. So let's connect with the, we have connected with the private server one, right? So it's 273. So 273 is for, this is for the private server 2. Yes, this is the private server one, 273, right? So what we will do, we will simply here check the service status, HTTPD. Sorry, I always get confused. Okay, so it's active and running. Okay, fine. So it's not stopped. It's not stopped, it's running, active and running. So we can use directly without connecting with your private server. You can directly use it. Okay, so let's try to connect with the private server too, and let's check the status of that. Okay, so first exit from here. You should be to the private, because we need this key1.pem, right? So let's give it. Okay, it's asking to log in as a EC2 user. Done. Now let's check here this systemctl status. Okay, but it's if you will see, it is also active and running. So I think now in AMI it's not stopping your automatically when you will start your like when you are using this AMI and you are launching the instance, automatically it's starting the service. So you don't need to log into your server and start your service again. Earlier it was okay. So now it's like you don't need to connect with your private server. Directly you can terminate your public server. You only need this private server 1 and private server 2, because all configuration is done. Now you can terminate this public server whenever it is required to configure anything in your private server. At that point time only you will create one server and public subnet, and you will connect with your private server, and then you will do modification. Fine. So that public server, we call that as a proxy server. So now I have deployed my application in both of the private server. Now what I want to access this application, right? If you will see here, you don't have the public IP address that you can use to access your application. And using private IP address, you can't access your application. Fine. So basically what we will do here to access my application, as it's a two server present here, so I will use load balancer. So for the load balancer, the first thing is that you need to create target group. So let's create a target group here. You can select any other application load balancer. So we are selecting here the instances only, right? So target group 1. Next thing is that using the protocol HTTP, because we are going to use application load balancers, select the VPC, that is my VPC. Okay. So after selecting it, you have to select the subnets as well. Here it is not available. Click on next. Okay. Select here your subnets from which subnets you are going to use your instance, right? So sorry, you have to select here the instances. So let's select the instances, private 1, private 2. So these two instances I want to route the traffic to these servers, right? So I created this target group. Next thing is that we need to create the load balancer. So let's click on create load balancer. Let's create application load balancer. I'm giving the name as project ALB internet facing because I want to access it from the internet. VPC you have to select here, that's my VPC, and the availability zone you can select it here. So at least you should select the two availability zone for the load balancer also. That's why we have used this. We have created two subnets. Okay, so here you have to select this private subnet 1, and here you have to select this private subnet 2. If you want, you can select the public subnets also, but we don't need it. Okay, sorry. Mm, 1 minute, 1 minute. Fine. Here you need to select this public subnet because your load balancer, you are going to create it in a public subnet, not in private subnet. Okay. So you must have to select here the two public subnets. Because of that reason, we have created two public subnets. Fine. So basically where you want to create your load balancer, that you have to select here. Fine. The target group you have to select, sorry, security group you have to select here. We already have a security group for ALB, right? So let's search it. Sorry, ELB. The name was ELB, right? It's not available here. Why? Okay, let's create then. I think it's not available. Inbound rule, you have to allow HTTP or HTTPS. I'm giving all traffic. Why it is not available? Okay, sorry. It's again my mistake. We were creating as a security group, so we need to create it in my VPC, okay? Sorry. That's why it was not available there. Because security group will be also under your VPC, right? So it will work only for one VPC. See here, now we will get it. Remove default and keep it here. Listeners, you have to select here the target group. So I have selected the target groups. Next, if you want any tags and all, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can click on create load balancer. Okay. So as of now, what we have done, we have created our load balancer in our public subnet. So now, if we want to access from outside, if we want to access this public, this load balancer, this is possible. And this load balancer can access your private subnet. Why? Because this can access your private servers. Why? Because it is available in the same VPC. So basically, if I want to explain you the architecture of this, it's like what you have here. You have one VPC. There you have two subnets. Left one is the public subnet, right one is the private subnet. In the private subnet, we have two servers, and within these two servers we have deployed our application. And what we have done, these are the private servers. So to access these application, we have created here the load balancer in public subnets. So what this public subnet will do, this load balancer, in this load balancer we have created in public subnet. So this load balancer will access your application and we can access our load balancer. So from outside, if we want to access our application, we can only go via this load balancer. Fine. So this is the main like architecture which we have created for our application, as well as we have used here the like our auto scaling group. So it's a scalable infrastructures, and as well as we have used here the load balancer, and our application servers are in private, so it's more secure. Fine. So few more thing is that CloudFront and all, we will discuss that as well. So if you want, you can take 5 minutes break now. Then we will see after this load balancer will be active. Then we will see the things next. Next we will see for the CloudFront and all. Okay. So you can take 5 minutes break. Till that time it will be active. So till now, if you have any doubt, let me know. Then you can go for the break.
Yes, I am having one doubt.
Hmm.
Uh, while you are connecting, you are not get it connected because two things were done, SSH connection and my VPC. So this my VPC I will select while creating my public server, right?
Yes, actually by default, like I have by mistake, I have not have
Yeah, yeah,
selected my VPC, right? So whenever you will not select any VPC, by default it will take the default VPC, right?
right.
Hmm. So
And
it has
SSH
taken that.
connection we will select in public server creation or using that
No,
you
no, that is the
selected
security
in,
group, right?
yeah,
That is security group. You are enabling the 22 port number.
right,
See, to connect with anything, to connect with any other servers, you need a protocol, you need a port number, right? So Linux always use SSH protocol to connect with Linux server. Like whenever you want to connect with any of the Linux server, you will always send the request for connection with via the SSH protocol. Okay, so that Linux server should allow that 22 port number. 22 port number means that SSH protocol port number. SSH have the by default port that is 22. So as of now, what happens that we here this particular server, it if I want to access this from anywhere, from outside, from inside the VPC, from anywhere, from any other server, if I want to access this server, this should allow SSH. If it will allow SSH, then only we can connect with that server. Okay, this is security group. I told you that firewall things, right?
yes,
So the
Yes.
22 port we have enabled. So that was the mistake we have done while launching the template. We also need to create a security group, but I not have done that. So because of that reason, it has taken the default security group, and the default security group that have the rule that is all traffic rule, but all traffic from the source its own security group. Like if if these two servers are from one security group only, then only they can communicate with each other. Okay, if this server have different security group and this server have different security group, they cannot communicate. So that default security group have allowed only the same security group to get connect in all the port number. So basically that was the problem. So that's why what I have done, I have added SSH from anywhere, so that any machine can access your servers via SSH protocol.
So we will do this by while creating my template, right?
Yes, while launching your template, you can create your security group.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyone else have any questions?
It's good
Okay,
for
then
me.
you can take. Yes, no, right?
No, no.
Okay, then you can take 5 minutes break. We'll meet at 9:17. Fine.
Yeah, sure.
Hello,
Yes, Pradeep.
Anita, have you created any AI?
1 minute, 1 minute. Let me connect the earphone, okay?
Okay, okay, sure, sure.
Hello.
So while creating the template, have you created
Hmm.
any AMIs today?
AMI we have already have created previously, right?
Okay,
And the
use the
same
same.
AMI we have used,
Okay, okay,
right?
sure, sure, sure.
Mm.
So I also didn't follow up while you created any AMs or not. That's why I asked.
Okay, AMI, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, we have deployed our application in default server, right? In
No, no,
default VPC that.
no, no, I'm
Hmm.
not asking that.
Hmm.
I want to know you today you have created the AMI or are you using the
Yes,
previous?
now only I have created AMI. Okay, after deploying application. Fine.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so everyone back?
Yes.
Okay. So let me share a screen again. See here. So now let's check our load balancer. If it will be active, we will take the domain name and then we'll access our application. Okay. Now, so now if you will see, this is our application load balancer and this is the domain name system. And if you will give here, like you can directly give here the domain name and basically what it is doing, it's providing you this error that is the 504 gateway timeout error. Okay, so I already have like browse for this DNS and it was giving me this error. Okay, so now anyone could have any idea why it is showing this error and why we are getting this error. See, load balancer we have created and load balancer need like required the security group that is HTTP, right? So we have provided it. So that's why the page is reaching out, but it's not able to reach to my target. Okay, it's not able to access my target. So it's not the access issues, but it's not able to reach to my target. So basically, that's in that case, it will always give this 504 error, right? So what could be the problem? Anyone can guess it? What could be the problem? We have created load balancer, we have given the target group, and this load balancer is available in public subnet. So we are able to access the load balancer, and your load balancer is available in the same VPC, so it should access your target group. Here, the problem is that see, you know that the target group, like your load balancer, always access your instance in the protocol using via the protocol that is HTTP or HTTPS. Now, for this instance security group, have we enabled HTTP? No. So if we will not open this 80 port for these servers, in such case, what will do, like this load balancer will not able to access it. In the same case, if you will do with the load balancer, right, network load balancer, you need to enable here your TCP, UDP, TLS, those things, right? So basically here you need to open the port for the HTTP, then only the load balancer will be able to access its server. Okay. So now what we want that no one else will be able to access my servers using this protocol except this load balancer. So condition is that, right? Because if we will give your HTTP from anywhere, so anyone can access it via HTTP protocol, but I don't want. I only want to give access to load balancer, right? So in that case, what we will do, we will configure our security group like that. So let's see how we will configure the security group. Let's go to the instance. Here, let's go to the security group. This is the private one and private 2 security group is same because this auto scaling group is using this default security group. So let's go and let's edit it. Okay. So here if you will see SSH is enabled and all traffic is enabled from within the same security group. But let's add a rule. And here what I'm doing, I'm just going to add this HTTP from my load balancer only. Okay. So here we can select not the security group. We can select here the load balancer ELB. See, this is the ELB, right? So you have to allow this ELB security group. So now we need to allow the port 80 from this ELB, from my load balancer itself. So let's save this rule. And now, after saving this rule, if you will refresh it, you will be able to access your application. See, able to access your application, right? If you will refresh again it will show two servers are there, right? But it's showing only for the one server. I think another server is unhealthy or what. Let me check it. Let me refresh this first. Is showing two servers are unhealthy. Acha, it not refreshed yet. After 5 minutes it will refresh because of this target group, right? So target group was like this network load balance, sorry, your application load balancer was not reaching to target group. That's why it is showing unhealthy. So after some time it will also show the server to also the healthy, and it will also route the traffic to your server, like private server 1 and private server 2 both. Okay, so this is how when we can deploy our application. We will have our load balancer in public server, we will have our private servers in private subnet, load balancer in public subnets. Okay, so it's a secure architecture, it's a secure infrastructures. If anyone want to see my code within this security group, if anyone will get the private IP address also, they will be not able to access it from anywhere. Even they will be not able to, no one will be able to access my application directly. If anyone want to access it, they always should come through this load balancer. Fine. The next thing what we can do, we can also create the cloud front for this. See here in this project also you can include your SNS as well, right? As I said that while creating your auto scaling group, you can use SNS. Let's see. What we will do, we will create here your CloudFront distributions, and this we will take here in this case of origin. What we will do, it happens. Origin, you can select here the load balancer. Okay, it's loading now. Let it be load first. Hmm, it's loaded. So you can select it. After this, you don't need to do anything. Protocol should be your HTTP, HTTPS, or you can select anything. So I just want HTTP. Fine. Next thing is that you can get here the origin path. It's optional things. If you want to give the URL of any other domain, right, you can provide it. Name of this CloudFront is the same. And after this, you don't need to do anything. HTTP or HTTPS via protocol is this. So this is the okay protocol. Okay, origins HTTP. Fine. Next thing is that you don't need to select anything. Do not enable the security protection. We don't need it. Then the root object, I'm not providing any. Just click on create distributions. Okay, so it will take to deploy the things. Okay, it will take some time to deploy the things. So till that time we can wait, and after that we can take this DNS, and whenever we will give this DNS, directly we will be able to access our application. So this DNS, it will request to load balancer, and load balancer will access your server. So this is how it's going to work. Okay, so here only in this project, I have already have written here, where it is. Here it's written here how it will work. We will give the CloudFront domain DNS. CloudFront will ping your application load balancer, and application load balancer will access your application server. So this is how it will work if you will use CloudFront. Fine. So this is our entire project, and I hope you have understood these steps as well as the like concepts, why we are doing it and how we are doing it, everything. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any doubts. No doubts, right? Okay, fine. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any doubts in any topics and all, and if you want to discuss any specific topic, if it is there in your mind. So in that case, what we can do, you can provide me the topic because we have one more session. Okay. So Thursday will be off for you guys. Okay, Thursday will be holiday on occasion of the Labor Day, and I also have some plans, so that's why I have given the holiday. Okay, and you guys will receive the mail as well. And one more thing is that you will get the project your use cases, right? So you will get the use cases on your drive. You have to do that project as well. Okay, so after some time, I think I will ask them to upload now. Fine. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you will get your use cases for your another two projects. Fine. And I hope this project is clear for everyone because this is the big project and you can explain as an experienced candidate as well.
So you will have the session on Friday.
Yes.
Last one, that is the.
Yeah, last one. If you guys will have any doubts and all, we also can schedule 1 hour session on Monday because weekend is there, right? Saturday, Sunday. So you guys can revise and then you can ask the doubts on Monday because we don't have the topic to conduct the session on Monday. Okay.
Yes. Then that two project you will explain on Friday.
Yeah, sure. Not the projects. That those two projects use cases will be provided to you. Okay, and if you will have any doubts on that, because I also I will ask them first to upload it. Okay, so Monday we can discuss that. Monday 1 hour session we can have. Okay, so Friday we will discuss few more topics, few definitions of the topics like ECS is there, EKS about the Kubernetes, like your AWS managed Kubernetes service, right? So all of those things, few topics are there that we will discuss. Only the definitions, things, and all. Okay. So
Okay.
few things, few concepts I will explain to you because Friday sessions we have that. And if you will come with any topic, and please let me know if you have any specific topic to learn and all, right? So at that time we can cover that. Fine.
Yes.
Okay. New message. Okay, Elastic Beanstalk and EBS. EBS Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. Fine, we can discuss that as well, Manish. Anyone have any extra topic? And Manish, EBS we have done, right? So Elastic Beanstalk that we can discuss, but EBS we already have completed. Have you missed any session? Manish, you are not audible. Basically, in AWS, short form is Elastic Block Storage. Okay, so don't refer it as EBS because it will be very confusing. Fine. And short, you can say it is as a beanstalk. That you can say, but don't say it EBS. Okay. Okay. So anyone else have any like topic? See, if you will list out the topic today itself, then only on Friday we can cover few topics. Okay, because like normal topic, if you will come with the normal topic and the general topic in AWS that we should know, so definitely I will explain that time only. But few advanced topic if you want to learn, then you have to explain me, like you have to tell me the topic now itself. Fine. But I don't think anyone have that kind of topic and all. Like few topics if you will talk about the sales maker and all, right? So for this I just have to prepare some notes, right? But those are very advanced topic. I don't think I will cover it. Fine. So now we have some time, and let me show few more things like one more project which I already have explained you the first project, right? So that is the simple project how we can host a website in S3 bucket. Okay. As I already told, we also can use S3 bucket to host our website, right? So for that you need a website. So I have created one file that is index.html file. Okay, so this is my application Hello World where it is written directly. And if you want to see the file content, you can open it with Notepad or something. Let's open it with Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is only the code, HTML code which I have written for my website. Okay, if you have any other website, it's fine. But if it is not there, then you can use this code for creating. So create one file called index.html and then put your code there. Fine. Now, if you want to deploy your website in S3 bucket, in that case, what you need a S3 bucket first. Okay, so let's go and let's create a S3 bucket. Yes, using this CloudFront C, we are able to access the application. Fine. So I just forgot to like show you this. Let's create a bucket and the bucket name I'm giving the same Paper Life DevOps because it's available, right? So I'm doing this ACL enable because I will give the public access for my index.html. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it. Block all public access. I just removed it and then let's create the bucket. After creating the bucket, you have to deploy your code file here, like your index.html file you have to upload in your S3 bucket. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go to this and here I'm going to upload this my files. So add file. This is my index.html, right? So I just have uploaded it. Let's see. Okay, so now if you will see here what you have your index.html means you have your code file. So if you will have multiple files for your application, you can deploy it here. After that, what you will do, like major file that will be your main file will be the index.html only, right? So now, if you want to deploy like in this particular application as a static website, right? So in that case, what you will do, you have to go to the properties, and at the end, what you will do, you will get one something called static website hosting. So index.html, what it have, this particular file have a static application, right? Static application means whenever you will open that file, whenever you will open that application, it will only show the hello world. Dynamic means this is the dynamic page. If you will talk about the AWS, right? This is the dynamic page. Why? Because here we can click on somewhere and then we can go to the another page. It can redirect to different website, different pages, right? So that is the dynamic one. Fine. So now you can host your static website. Mostly people use to deploy their front end here in this bucket. Okay, majorly in my project also, those people have used S3 bucket to deploy their front end. Fine. So here there they will have all their front end code here in S3 bucket, and they will create one static website hosting. So you have to enable it. Fine. So after enabling it, if you want a like redirect request for any objects specific for to a specific domain and all, you can use it. We are going to host a static website now. So here you have to provide your main file name. So I'm giving here the index.html here, and then what we will do, we will save these changes. After doing this, here it will provide this bucket website endpoint. Using this website, like this, using this particular DNS, you can access your application. And if you will see, it's written like Paper Life DevOps S3 website app south. So this is the easy domain as well, right? So it is saying it's access denied. Why? Because my object is not public. So let's make it let's make it public. So give here the ACL. If you don't want to make it public, you can also use here the CloudFront. Okay, so I'm not going to use here the CloudFront. So sorry, I'm going to use here the ACL now. So mostly people, what they will do, they will deploy their front end in S3 bucket, and then they will use CloudFront to access this S3 bucket. Fine. So let's save these changes. Okay, done. And the same thing we will do for object. Sorry. It's done. Now, if you will take this, like if you will refresh it, you will be able to access this application. Hello world is there. So this is how they work. So let me show few things if I have here. Mm, I think I have shared some CloudFront bucket. Uh, 1 minute. Let me stop sharing screen. Okay, one CloudFront is there. Let me take it. So actually, I'm showing you one application that has been deployed from my project in S3 bucket. That front end has been deployed in my S3 bucket. So that I want to show you. So let me take the CloudFront DNS. Okay. Uh, Fine. It's loading late. Fine. I will show that in like on Friday. I will collect those information and then I will show you. Fine. Okay. So majorly S3 buckets will use for website hosting, for log store, okay, for log storage, as well as for the images and videos storage. We will use that as a storage there to store that. Fine. And for Terraform state file storage. So many use cases are there for S3. These are the major use cases of that. Fine. And one more thing we will do on Friday, we will also discuss few of the interview questions. Okay, I will upload few interview questions now, and like we'll also discuss that. Fine.
So this HTML file I will create in Visual Studio.
See, you can write it in Notepad as well. See, what I have done, what you
Yes.
can do in Notepad, just write that code,
Yes.
okay? And after writing this code, you can use Notepad plus plus as well. You can write it the code, and then I think it's not copied yet. Hmm. Then if you will do Control S, it will save it, right? So here you have to provide the name index.html. That's it, save it, okay? Creation of this file is not difficult. Directly
Okay.
write this, save it, okay?
Okay.
With the
Okay.
name index.html. Fine?
Yes.
Okay. No other questions are there, right? Fine. So this is about the projects. We will share the use cases with you. You have to do those projects as a task. And Thursday we will not have the class, so please remember this. And Friday we will have class at 8 only. And Friday will be the most probably it will be the last class. And if we will have any, if you will have any doubts and all, then we will proceed on Monday. Like Monday we will have 1 hour session. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So fine then, we are good for today. We can wind up the session, right? And please practice because you can ask me the questions at the end of the session, right? So please practice it, like, and cover all the topics in this weekend. Thursday also you have holiday, so you can do it. Okay, you can vote and then you can leave the session. Thanks everyone.
Hi, Victor. If you don't mind, I have a doubt.
Sorry, Hemant.
Yeah, I have a doubt. If you don't mind.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah. So this ECS details are the ones released by the AWS house. I mean,
Could you
container.
please, I think your mic or something is, I think it's always your voice, always it's vibrate.
Okay.
Could you
Yeah,
please
madam.
say?
Yeah, madam.
Yes, now you are.
Yeah. So these ECS and EKS are the old services by the AWS, right? Container and Kubernetes services. Okay.
EKS, na?
Yeah,
Are you
EKS.
talking about EKS? EKS is the
Yes.
Kubernetes service. ECS is your container service. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, that will create container. Majorly, that will use EC2 instance as a container. Okay. And EKS will use your Docker containers.
So the companies I referred open source, right? Right, the Docker and Kubernetes, but not with ECS and EKS. It depends upon,
Yeah,
right?
because EKS that's totally it comes under your AWS Kubernetes service, na. So that you will learn in under the AWS DevOps. AWS DevOps is the different course itself, okay? But we will see the definition of that. So if you want to learn more about the AWS DevOps, like the code pipelines and your like EKS, right? So many things are there in
Exactly.
AWS. Like you heard about the AWS DevOps, right? So there is
Yeah.
three things. One is the like AWS DevOps is there, Azure DevOps is there, and one general DevOps is there. So whatever you have learned, that is the general DevOps means you have learned the individual tools,
Mhm.
right? So you have learned the individual tools that you will use in self-managed, like that will be majorly the self-managed things, right?
Yeah.
But if you will go with the EKS, it's a AWS managed Kubernetes service. You have learned, I think, KubeADM. So that you have only created, you have installed. So that is the self-managed Kubernetes. Okay.
Yes.
So it's like that. So I will explain you those things, okay?
Okay.
Okay.